Central Methodist University is a private, coeducational, liberal arts university located in Fayette, Missouri. CMU is an accredited four-year institution of higher education and offers master's, bachelor's, and associate degrees. The school is affiliated with the United Methodist Church. History. On April 13, 1853, Central Methodist University was founded by Nathan Scarrett and David Rice McAnally. The college was chartered by the Missouri General Assembly on March 15, 1855. It came about due largely to the diligent work of Nathan Scarrett and David Rice McAnally. Classes began on September 18, 1857, on a one-acre campus with an enrollment of 114 students and a faculty of 3. Samuel C. Major was the first graduate in 1858. In about 100 years the school grew to a campus of 55 acres, enrollment of over 1,000 students and a faculty of 65. In 2004, it was granted university status and changed its name accordingly. Presidents. Campus. Central Methodist's main campus is in Fayette, Missouri. Notable features include Lynn Memorial United Methodist Church, Swinney Conservatory, Brannock Hall, Little Theater, Ashby Hodge Gallery of American Art, and Quadrangle. The college also has the Morrison Observatory next to the president's home across the street from the Fayette City Park. On-campus cultural attractions include Ashby Hodge Gallery of American Art, Stevens Museum, concerts presented by the Swinney Conservatory of Music and productions hosted in the Little Theater or on the Quad. The 2004 film Killer Dilla was filmed on campus and in various other locations owned by the university. Buildings located on campus. Brannock Hall. Brannock Hall was built in 1856. It stood through the Civil War, and functioned as Fayette's weather center. Brannock sat empty from 1911 to 1914. It was then remodeled into a boys' dormitory. In 1928 it became the administrative building on campus. Howard Payne Hall. Howard Payne Hall was built in 1851 boarding house for women by William T. Luckey and Nathan Scarrett. The north wing was added from the burnt bricks that used to be Howard High School. The north wing was used to house classrooms. In 1959, Howard High School was chartered into Howard College. Eventually Central bought Howard College and it became a female dorm. Howard Payne Hall was closed for several years due to the use of soft bricks during its construction. In 1981, the building was reopened and used as a co-ed dorm, and is still used this way in the present. Givens. Givens is the oldest structure on the CMU campus, built in 1848–50. In 1903 it was used as a resident building for Howard Payne College presidents. In 1928 it was turned into a residence hall for Howard Payne female faculty. Givens has served the campus in many different ways, one way being that it was used in World War II as the Navy sick bay, and has also been used as residence building for female students. It is now used to house alumni and guests. Couples Hall. Built in 1896 by Samuel Couples as a dormitory for men. In 1927 Couples became a library to house the George M. Smiley collection. In 1969–70 it was renovated. A new addition was added that doubled the size of the library and allowed for the placement of the Little Theater below. Classic Hall. Classic Hall was built in 1911 and was considered to be the great learning center on campus. It was originally constructed to help keep Howard Payne College a self-contained college for women. This allowed for Howard Payne to become strictly a dormitory. Classic Hall used to house classrooms, performances, and a women's literary society. In 1981, it was shut down due to declining enrollment and weakening structure. Classic Hall was renovated and reopened in 2012 as a home for fine arts. T. Berry Smith Hall. T. Berry Smith Hall was built in 1894–5. It was designed in an Italianate fashion. In the beginning of the building's history, all the departments of college, the Aristotelian and the Phi Alpha literary societies used to meet in this building. The room they met in has now been split into classrooms, but the stained glass panels still hang outside the classrooms. In 1928, T. Berry Smith Hall became the Science Hall on campus, and all other classes were moved out. In 1964, the science and math classes were moved to Stedman, and T. Berry was given its name after Central's chemistry professor and president. T. Berry Smith Hall now houses the social science, education, religion, and philosophy department. Also, Central's band is housed in this building. McMurray Hall. McMurray Hall was constructed during the 1920s. It was named after Bishop W. F. McMurray, and was designed to look like an English manor house. It was built to serve as a dormitory for men, but in 1943–45 it served as barracks for V-12 program located at Central Methodist. It was completely renovated in 2002. It now houses 200 students, both male and female. Morrison Observatory. Clingan Peel Physical Education Building. This building was built to replace the old wooden gym in 1906. During this time it was affectionately known as the Cracker Box, because it was so small that the supporters had to view the game from the balcony. It was named in 1912 after coach C.A. Clingan Peel. Clingan Peel was remodeled to house a women's gymnasium. It now currently houses physical education offices. Swiney Conservatory was built in 1926–27 and is attached to Lynn Memorial. The money donated to build the conservatory came from Mr. and Mrs. Edward F. Swiney in 1922. It was originally built for Howard Payne College, but was built on Central. It eventually was taken over by Central and became part of the campus. It now houses the music department. Puckett Fieldhouse. Puckett Fieldhouse was constructed in 1948–9. It was dedicated in 1953 to E. P. Puckett, who had always believed that CMU needed a proper athletic facility. It originally contained 2 basketball courts, a gymnastic area, and an indoor track. Holt Hall. Holt Hall was the first modern structure on campus. It was considered so modern because it had an elevator in the building. It was constructed in 1957 and was named after Ivan Lee Holt, Bishop of Missouri and Central Curator. Holt Hall used to house the dining hall for the campus. It was remodeled in 1983 and was named Maybe Dining Hall. The dining hall moved to the Student and Community Center in 2005. Holt now functions as a dormitory for females as well as the admissions officers. Burford Hall. Burford Hall was built in 1959–60. It was named after Cyrus Burford, an alumnus of Central and a longtime member of the Board of Curators. The creation of this building also allowed for Howard Payne to become inhabited by only women, because there was now enough dorm rooms for men. Stedman Hall. Stedman Hall was built in 1962. The money for the building was donated by Samuel Stedman, a Central alumnus of 1935. He became a financial success on Wall Street. He had always intended to donate money to Central in order to build a new science building. However, he refused to have the building named after him. It was not until his death that the name was changed to Stedman Hall. Woodward Hall. Woodward was the last male dorm built on campus, and was built in 1964. The building was named after Rev. Ralph L. Woodward, who was the president at the time. The Little Theatre. The Little Theatre was constructed in 1969 by the John Epple family. It seats 228 patrons. President's Residence. The President's Residence is located next to the Morrison Observatory. It was built in 1971 at the request of the president at that time, Harold Hamilton. The university presidents have been living there ever since. Phillips Recreation Center. Phillips Recreation Center was built in 1981 at the base of Puckett Fieldhouse. It consists of 2 indoor tennis courts, 2 racquetball courts, and the E. E. Rich Memorial Swimming Pool. Thogmorton Center for Allied Health. The Thogmorton Center for Allied Health opened for classes August of 2015. It is the newest academic building and offers increased lab and classroom space for nursing, athletic training, occupational and physical therapy assistant, high-tech simulation experience labs for nursing, and flexible classroom space for greater faculty-student interaction. Regional campuses. The university also has a number of regional locations for continuing and graduate education programs in the Missouri communities of Clinton, Columbia, Dexter, Lake of the Ozarks, Lynn, Macon, Neosho, Park Hills, Poplar Bluff, Sedalia, St. Louis, Trenton, Union and Waynesville. It also has an extensive online program and partnerships with several community colleges in Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois. Athletics. Central Methodist is a Division I school in the Heart of America Athletic Conference. The school's teams are called the Eagles. Teams compete in football, basketball, baseball, cross-country, golf, soccer, softball, spirit squad, track and field, and volleyball. Fight song. In the late spring of 2006, Central Methodist University adopted an official fight song written by Andrew Glover, a 1983 alumnus of Central Methodist College, called Fighting Eagles. The previous unofficial fight song had been Hail, Victory, written by Central College alum and former drum major Robert Earl Stepp. Notable alumni: Douglas A. Foster, religion historian at Abilene Christian University; Boone Guyton, naval aviator; William Fletcher McMurray, eponym of McMurray University; Samuel C. Major, Democratic U.S. representative from Missouri; Danielle Moore, French-born Missouri Republican state representative and member of NAACP; Ira Richardson, president of Northwest Missouri State University and Adams State College; Claude T. Smith, music composer and conductor; Roger B. Wilson, Democratic governor of Missouri; David Holsinger, American composer and conductor; C. Fred Bergston, American economist, author, and political advisor; Bill Chott, American actor and comedian; Houston Smith, religious studies scholar in the United States; Michael Johnson, wrestler, The Ultimate Fighter 12 finalist, MMA fighter, currently competing in the lightweight division of the UFC; Muran Altankuryag, professional soccer player and member of the Mongolia national football team. Battle of Fayette. The battle occurred on September 24, 1864, when 2 bands of Southern sympathizers attacked the Union troops stationed in Fayette. It ranged across the town to end on what is now the college's campus. The guerrillas were led by William "Bloody Bill" Anderson and George Todd, and included among the number Frank and Jesse James, of outlaw fame. Somewhere between 30 and 50 Union fighters fighters faced off against the 250 Southern sympathizers, who had disguised themselves with uniforms taken from dead Federal soldiers. Only 75 members of the large guerrilla party charged the barricaded troops, though Anderson and Todd lived on to terrorize Northern troops across the state before their deaths. This ill-conceived attack had deadly consequences. After 3 charges, 13 of Anderson's men were dead and another 30 were wounded. Only one of the Union soldiers was killed, and another 5 wounded. In later years, Frank James said that the Fayette fight made him the worst scared I ever was during the war. Quote, in his brief description of the fight, he said, "We charged up to a blockhouse made of railroad ties filled with portholes and then charged back again. The blockhouse was filled with Federal troops and it was like charging a stone wall, only this stone wall belched forth lead." On October 14, 2007, the Missouri Department of Natural Resources commemorated the battle by placing a marker on the Central Methodist University campus.